at part 2 of this Lightroom help session. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. We've got a boat in front of some massively impressive cliffs. Now my first feeling when I look at this is, wow, the cliffs look fantastic. The boat's a bit too low in the frame though. If you look at the gap at the bottom, it's right on the bottom. So I'd have zoomed out a bit wider on this one, but I might pop it over into Photoshop actually. Let's do that. So to get into Photoshop from Lightroom, just press Ctrl and E. That'll then create us a TIFF file configurable to what you want. So this is Photoshop. I know it's a Lightroom tutorial, but it's always good to see what else you can do. Now I'm hoping that in the latest version of Photoshop there's a thing called content aware crop. So I'm going to make the scene a little bit bigger, believe it or not, by doing that, and click this content aware button. And what I'm hoping Photoshop does, and you never know what it's going to do until you click tick, which is just done, I'm hoping it's going to fill that area there with water. It's probably going to put a bit of mountain in there, don't mind it. So let's just wait and see. Go on. Oh, it's copied a bit of the boat in, hasn't it? Right, where's my stylus? Let's just there's various tools you can use. Let's go for the patch tool. So what you do is just draw around these things. I'm just going to, obviously it'd take a lot more time than this if you're doing it properly, you know. You see the idea there. What all I'm trying to do is add a bit of room at the bottom of the shot so the boat now doesn't look so detached. So once you're happy with that, which obviously you would spend more time doing, you press save. Go back. It seems to be stuck on 96% saving there. Are you going to save it or are you not going to save it? No, that's a bit odd. It's just sitting there on 96%. No, there we go. The big files, I'll give it that. Right, so when it pops back up, we'll have the original NEF file, which is a Nikon, and then we'll have a nice TIFF. So I hope that shows you what I mean by having a bit more room at the bottom. It just feels better, doesn't it? In fact, I don't know if you get a ruler out, that gap there and the gap at the bottom should be fairly similar. Right, so we've got a TIFF in front of us now. Let's have a play with the sliders. So overall it's a little bit on the dull side, flat side, so we can add a lot of contrast. If you grab the white slider, move it to the right with the Alt key pressed down, same on PC and Mac, and do the same with the black. And what we're looking for is just when you slide it, you start to see little bits appearing. If you go all the way, you get a lot, but to see little bits appearing, that's where the black clips. So just by doing that, we've added quite a lot of contrast already. I'm just going to bring the highlights down because that'll make the sky a bit more interesting. I might just add a bit of contrast as well. So it's looking quite a lot punchier now, isn't it? Shall we make it even punchier? We can add a bit of clarity, look. And now that starts to really add some depth to these hills. Let's have a little zoom in and look at those. Okay. Probably needs a bit of sharpening because we didn't do any in the raw file earlier. Bit of luminance. And I think maybe this area over here is a little bit on the dark side. One of my favourite new tools in the newer versions of Lightroom is this elliptical tool. So I want to brighten the ship up a bit. So what you do is you click in the middle of where you're going to go and then drag a semicircle, well, a circle or an ellipse around it. And now I'm just going to show you. So if we wanted to then brighten everything up, ooh, I've put the exposure up stupidly high, obviously, for the so you can see what's going on. So the mask's the wrong way around. it's brightening everything outside the circle. We want to brighten everything inside the circle. So if you're confused ever, just have a look at this invert mask thing here. Okay, so let's just bring that back down a little bit. So look at that, we can make the ship a little bit brighter if you want to, just so it stands out from the background a bit. And then if you wanted to do something to these mountains, which, well, why wouldn't you? They're pretty impressive. Maybe you want to let's again invert. Should we add a bit of clarity to them? Maybe bring the whites up so they really jump out. Wow, look at that now. And a bit of sharpness. Probably gone a little bit too far there, but you now got some really powerful sort of cliffs going on there. Other stuff you could do. I mean, if you wanted to warm it up a little bit, you could go to the split toning and add a little bit of orange, like that sort of thing. Just warms the whole thing up. If you want to cool it down, you can add a little bit of cyan, which is light blue, I suppose. But I think with it being a sort of holiday kind of shot, adding a little bit of orange kind of works. And finally, is this one that's going to benefit from a vignette? Not so sure really. The reason is it's quite dark over this side anyway, so adding more darkness just emphasises it. Okay, so apart from this mess down here, you can see why I've added a bit of space to it. I mean, you could now go in and maybe you could do a crop like that. Alternative, you know, but you lose the big cliffs. So yeah, I think in a nutshell, that's pretty much what I'd be doing with this photo. Let's see what adding a bit, opening the shadows does. No, there you go. What was it like before? I've forgotten. Oh, it's that. So I've gone pretty damn punchy with that actually. That looks a lot more natural, but you know, just I'm showing you what the possibilities of Lightroom are rather than going for the real deal. Hope that helps.